Alright, hello, I'm Sai, and we are back. More Life of Brante. There has been something that I should probably mentioned at the first episode or shortly after that when I played the game a bit more. Uh, I really enjoyed this, and it's kind of surprising, but I was thinking maybe I enjoyed this game because of all the choices that you can make and how differently they could affect the story, and who knows about any other passes, right? I think that's what I love most about games, besides having an enticing story that you feel is like building it building itself up in front of your eyes, right? I think if I could draw a parallel with this, it would be the Witcher series. I played The Witcher 1 and it was one of my favorite games at the time, and maybe still is, but not really, because it's mechanically lacking, right? It's basically just an isometric point and click game if you think about it. That is an RPG. But in that game, the choices matter. And of course, the Witcher series evolved on this with the second and the third game. Um, and yeah, so I, I hope you see the parallel. This game is not something that I imagined to be when I got it, but it's like a pleasant surprise, even though the gameplay itself, like all these tabs we have here, and what I am doing basically is just reading a book for you guys and myself. Um, but yeah, because of the choices, it's great. It makes it great. Anyway, moving on. Miracles and wonders. We have not had any serious cases since the investigations of Father Leonard's print shop and the Latari Society. The only matter that currently warrants the Inquisition's presence in the province is the ongoing struggle between the old faith and the new. Did Abbot Leonard lie to you about Patriarch Cassius's heresy? There is a knock at the door. Father Ulrich has left the province for now, so all petitioners are coming to you. You set your thoughts aside and focus your gaze on the visitor. A middle-aged nobleman enters your office. His jacket is decorated with large sewn-on beads. He states his name is Carl El Capo and claims to have run a fall of magic. Sir El Capo owns a village by the name of Gracinia. The harvests there are abundant, and all plants and trees take root with amazingly success. The villagers claim it is a blessing from the twins, but Sir El Capo thinks otherwise. The nobleman claims that Sister Ariadella, the village priestess, is a witch. People have seen plants and trees blossom and bear fruit at her touch, here in barren Magra with its lifeless soil. A pious man, Sir El Capo does not want to shelter a witch who corrupts his property with her ungodly sorcery and feeds its cursed fruit to his men. You carefully write down the nobleman's every word, then leave for Gracinia at once, escorted by a squad of champions. Even from the high road, the village is striking. The trees, the grass, the flower beds, it is all green. Only nobles can afford such a luxury in Anisote, and they import fertile soil for their gardens at great expense. You grew up among greenery, but your family garden had nothing this green and lush. You come to halt next to a small, well-tended little house. A tall, slender young woman dressed in a black cassock comes out to greet you. This can only be Sister Ariadella. She looks at you, her eyes the brightest shade of emerald green. Okay, so we already know she's definitely a witch. Greetings, Inquisitor. Please, come in. Village priestess suspected of witchcraft. In case you wonder why I say that, is because in the previous encounters with witches, it was always mentioning their eye colors, and especially green ones are related to nature, which we learned. As unexpected as your visit must be, the young woman shows no fear whatsoever. You tell the champions of fate to remain outside for now. Ariadella takes you to the backyard of her home, a beautiful verdant garden. So, Inquisitor Bronto, have you come to proclaim the miracle? What? What miracle? Ariadella smiles. She gestures to the flowers and trees growing all around. Why, just look. It's a miracle. A vast garden has appeared here, all thanks to our hard work and prayers to the twins. There's no garden like it anywhere else in Magra, except for those with imported soil. I've prayed for this ever since I was a little girl. It all started when I prayed for my mother's flowers not to die. And as soon as I touched the soil with a prayer on my lips, it became soft, and the flowers grew strong. I've been doing it all my life. I just pray, touch the earth, and the soil lives again. This is why I became a priest. I wanted to use my gift from the twins for the good of the people. I went to Patriarch Cassius, and he guided me towards the priestly lot and sent me back home to Gracinia. And now our life here has become truly wondrous, thank the twins. I knew you'd come, I just knew it. Who else should proclaim this miracle from the twins, if not the Inquisition? Ariadella whispers a prayer to the heavens and touches a green stalk. It responds to her touch with a little bud. A moment later, a beautiful flower unfurls to greet you. The girl turns to you. There is great expectation in her eyes and sparks of verdant green. You try your best to let her down gently. This wonder is different from the miracles worked by the twins. In fact, it is the opposite. The young woman's power comes from heretical magic, a distortion of the law of creation, an act abhorrent to the twins. The priestess's face expresses confusion, then terror. Can you say such a thing? My power comes from the twins. I know it. I serve them. I bring their blessing into this world. I was guided to the priestly lot by Patriarch Cassius himself. He couldn't have been mistaken. He'd never lied to me like that. You are not yet ready to say why the Patriarch would do this, but as for Ariadella herself, she must be collared and sent to the House of Humility, where all witches and mages of the Empire belong. There she will be stripped of her lot and her free will, to serve the Empire and its people as an instrument of the Church. The priestess is shocked. She cannot move. Tears begin to stream down her cheeks. No, you can't do this. How? Nothing will grow in Gracinia without me. This village, it will die, and my entire garden along with it. The young woman falls to her knees, weeping. She folds her arms across her chest and begins to mutter. You can barely distinguish her words between her sobs and tears, but eventually you realize that she is praying. Although she believed herself to be a holy woman, Ariadella was in fact transgressing against the divine law. She must be punished, so saith the younger. And yet, she has devoted her powers to a good cause, utterly unaware that what she was doing was wrong. However, there is another question. Why would Cassius allow her to use magic in the name of the twins? It could not have been a mistake. The Patriarch intentionally set her on this heretical path. But why would he commit such sacrilege? To what end? Perhaps Father Leonard's report was not unfounded after all. The time for pondering is at an end. You must act. Ariadella's fate is in your hands. Okay. Subdue Ariadella. You will deliver her to the Inquisition to be stripped of her lot and free will. Thankfully we cannot do that. Save Ariadella. The young woman is innocent. Her magic does no harm. You will risk yourself to keep her safe. Oh, we cannot do this because of Jean. I see. Have Ariadella executed. Fire shall purge Ariadella's hideous magic from this land. There is no place for witches in the Empire. Proclaim this occurrence a miracle of the twins. Ariadella is a pious, twins-fearing woman. Perhaps magic was her path to the twins after all. Obviously, we are going to do this. And it's a nice story that she doesn't actually know she's a witch. On the other hand, Cassius... Why would Cassius do this? And also, this makes me think. The twins, why are they so against magic? Like, if they are gods, aren't they the... Well, actually the twins... What if the twins are not gods? Because they have not been here from the beginning, right? That's interesting. So they haven't seeded life. They didn't create humans. They just came here and assumed the godly positions they have. So they are more like aliens. Right? Does that mean the twins are pretenders? Interesting. Doesn't mean that they are not entirely benevolent, or rather doesn't mean that they are fully hostile towards humanity. Who knows? Anyway, proclaim this occurrence a miracle of the twins. Watch Ariadella cry. You have made up your mind. She will not go to the house of humility or the pyre. In the hands of a pious soul, even abhorrent heretical magic can take the shape of prayer and worship of the twins. What else could this be, if not a true miracle? You sit on the floor next to Ariadella. Your hand comes to rest on her shoulder. She is safe, there is no threat. Yes, she was right. She was the wonder worker she thought herself to be. They sent you here to test her fate. That is all. She has been judged and found truly faithful. Her heart is filled with nothing but love for the twins. Oh, that's sweet. In order her to function properly, we preserve her belief, even though we know the truth. But that surely can cause doubts in anyone, right? Ariadella looks up. An uncertain smile appears on her face. Oh, good Inquisitor, you scared me so badly. Ulrich is away from Magram business. You have full authority in this matter. Back in Anisote, you publicly proclaim that you have witnessed the true miracle of the twins in the village of Gracinia. With the power of prayer, a priestess by the name of Ariadella has made the arid soil of Magra fertile once more. Next, you locate Sir El Capo. You tell him that all miracles of the twins enjoy the full protection of the champions of fate. He should be glad that Ariadella lives in his village rather than somewhere else. El Capo shakes his head in dismay. If both the Patriarch and an Inquisitor see no evil where it is obvious to him, then the province is surely doomed. He will not set foot on his own land until his soil has been purged of this abhorrent magic. What a stupid man. That makes us more wealthier, good. Soon after you learn that Sir El Capo has shared his opinion with a number of people outside the Inquisition ward, rumors have begun to spread about an Inquisitor who spat on the laws of his own order. The young woman is safe, but the order's authority Magra has suffered. At least your mentor is too far away to excoriate you. Ay ay ay. I'm super not sure if we want the downfall of Inquisition. That is my biggest dilemma. Tolerance is growing. Good. Okay. Year 1141. The procession to the tree. A holy day is coming, a day when the entire empire thanks the twins for the silver tree, the sign they left behind as a reminder of their eternal presence in this world. The momentous occasion is especially important for Anisote, but the clergy cannot agree on how best to celebrate it. Father Leonard has called for all worshippers of the twins to approach the temple of the silver tree and kneel before the sacred relic, but the old clergy balks at the idea of Leonard and the new believers leading the ritual. The day has come. An immense crowd is moving in a procession towards the temple near the silver tree, where Father Leonard awaits. But an inquisitor by the name of Jean stands in their way. She strikes a defiant pose. Confronted by a member of the Holy Order of the Inquisition, the procession reluctantly stops. People, turn back. Those who attend Leonard's rite will succumb to the new fate. Those who reject the lots will defy their divine design. You're about to bring the wrath of the gods down upon us all. Open your eyes, go back to your homes and pray to the twins. The procession wants to move, but the people are confused until Father Leonard himself walks out of the temple to meet Jean face to face. People of Anisote, no one has the right to deny you the sacred ritual of worshipping at the tree. Not even the Inquisition. Is such a denial not more likely to provoke the wrath of the twins? The Inquisition must know that the new faith does not seek to challenge or defy the twins. We are merely trying to correct the mistakes of those who came before us. We do not anger the twins. We merely vex those who refuse to accept the dawn of a new age. Jeanne finds herself between a rock and a hard place. Seeing that she has no other choice, she lets the procession pass. The new faith's numbers have swelled of late. It cannot be stopped now. Okay, so when you pair words like the new faith cannot be stopped, and something, you know, there's always something in the back of your mind that are you making the right choice? Should we just abolish this universal religion overall? Is it even a choice that we could make, right? We shall see. The Festival of the Silver Tree. Today is an important holiday. The entire empire is celebrating the Festival of the Silver Tree, which commemorates the parting gift of the twin gods, the divine sapling they planted in our mortal world in the middle of Anisote. The families of the city spend a day in peace and quiet, contemplating the divine roots that join together all people, their bloodlines, and the entire empire. Mother always oversees this holiday. The day before the festival, she seemed to have shaken off her usual apathy and engaged in the preparations with excitement. It was as though her illness has loosened its grip. Mother gathers the entire family for the holiday meal. Father is in high spirits today, sharing jokes with you and Nathan. Stefan is trying to suppress an atypical agitation. Gloria is the last to join you at the table. She's wearing new breeches with high stockings and a yellow vest. Gloria, you're wearing men's clothes again. No, Mother, I'm wearing clothes women are forbidden to wear. Father gives... That's a good reply. Father gives Gloria a stern look. Stefan rolls his eyes but says nothing. Suddenly Nathan speaks up. A few days ago in the market I saw a grocer dressed as overseer Gaius Tempest. He had a huge carrot for a scepter. He got a sound drubbing, of course, but until then it was quite a hoot. Everybody laughs at the ridiculous story, relieved. Even Gloria has a smile on her face when she sits down. The feast commences. Your family finally feels warm for a moment. It wasn't so long ago the four of you couldn't even reach up to this table. The first word you said, Gloria, was gimme. Nathan used to cling to my skirt all the time, almost tearing it. And you, Brante, you couldn't talk at all yet. But your piercing stare was so expressive, it felt as if you were talking to me. Mother looks at Stefan and suddenly grows quiet. When I met Stefan, he was already 3 years old. He was so serious and a smooth talker to boot. I remember that he had a music teacher, but he was too shy to play in front of me, so I used to listen from the next room. Stefan's face twitches. Your elder brother rises and moves to the old harpsichord. His fingers fly gracefully over the keys. A melody fills the house melancholy and sweet. The last note lingers in the air, then silence falls. The family is awestruck. Words fail you all. Who wrote that? A nobleman from the capital between drinking a glass of wine and beating a servant? Your sister's cutting remark puts an end to the warm, cozy atmosphere. Stefan calmly turns to face her. No, it was I who composed this piece of music. It is called Mother. Mother rises to her feet. She would have needed help to do this just recently, but now she treads unassisted towards Stefan and draws him close. Stefan puts his arms around his stepmother's waist, then detaches himself awkwardly. May the twin gods bless you, Lydia. Gloria considers this scene with thinly veiled fury in her eyes. Of course, high-born nobles like Stefan are made for the arts. They are the only ones lucky enough to have a soul and experience inspiration. Unlike us, the low-born, we aren't supposed to feel anything but suffering, let alone express it in poetry. Everyone notices that Gloria is clutching pages filled with writing, her poems. Your sister casts a morphine glaze at the family and her eyes rest on you. Let Gloria read her poems. You persuade the family that Gloria has a right to read her poems. Let Mother calm Gloria down, or interrupt Gloria. Your sister is not to indulge in versification. No, of course, she can read it. You rise from your seat and speak. In your speech, you wholeheartedly support your sister. Gloria had the misfortune to be born a commoner, but she is still entitled to express her feeling. Why is Stefan the only one who has the right to delight Mother with his creations? Every member of our family should be equal. But what about her Lotson? Gloria is permitting herself to practice a noble activity, thus breaching the divine order. You softly explain to Mother that times have changed. Nowadays art isn't just a pleasure for the nobles. It's also a trade plied by many commoners. More and more low-born tradespeople are taking up the pen and ink rather than the hammer. This is now their labor and their suffering. Mother lets out a heavy sigh, but yields to the onslaught of your inspired speech. Emboldened by your support, Gloria steps into the center of the room. Her eyes are fixed on Father. A stranger and a bastard I am called. I am, but still I long for you to say that I am yours, and melt the icy cold that burns within my heart both night and day. My mother and my brothers are all near, but I feel cold as though we were apart. Ashamed, yet still compelled to make you hear, I long to hold you closely to my heart. I am a stranger. 'Tis my only crime. Forgive me. Oh, but mercy is forbidden. I hope you'll see, if not forgive, in time my bitter love, both joyous and well hidden. Father stares at her in bewilderment. Gloria, Stefan springs to his feet and leaves for his chambers, slamming the door behind him. I don't feel so well. Nathan, son, please help me to my room. Mother leaves the room leaning on Nathan's arm. The celebration is cut short. Really? That was a beautiful poem. Wow, really? Imagine you pour out your soul into your whole family and they, wow, reward you with that. Year 1142, the Emperor's heirs in danger. News from the capital quickly reaches every corner of the empire. Gerion and Flavius, the heirs to the throne, have left the Emperor's palace for the province of Monia, which is ruled by Great Chancellor Agerius Monroe. The Great Chancellor has accused the Emperor's court of harboring malefactors conspiring against the imperial heirs. This is why he has offered them shelter and safety in his own impregnable citadel. The common people are particularly worried by the news. They take it as a sign that the Chancellor is seeking to solidify his power by holding the heirs hostage. If this continues, Monroe could coerce the Emperor into revoking the imperial law, thus depriving the common estate of any and all right. All hope for reform in the empire has vanished. From farmer to rich industrialist, the commoners are growing desperate. In your province, the authorities are trying their best to put the people at ease. The magistrate of Anisote makes a speech from his balcony to the excited crowd below. Remy L. Verman. Trust in your emperor, good people. The imperial heirs are the future of the greatest Tempest dynasty. The emperor has made the wise decision to send them far away from the scheming court. Great Chancellor Monroe will take good care of them and keep them safe. All glory to the empire, all glory to the Tempest. This is so interesting, the power scale, that the all nobility in power is one end and the reign of terror is another. Okay. Chapter Peacetime ends soon. Examine possible chapter endings to check which way you are headed. To achieve the goal that you've chosen, you have to meet all of its conditions at the end of the chapter. Okay, so these ones. You follow Ulrich on the path of the wheel until the very end. Hell no. Cassius faces the tribunal. You convict Patriarch Cassius in a holy tribunal, which needs Inquisition power, evidence against Cassius, and collapse of the Inquisition. Cassius overthrown. Okay, so this is what we want. With your aid, the new believers force Patriarch Cassius from his sacred post. Evidence against Cassius. Shit. Does that mean that the witch girl would have been one? Ulrich bends the city to his will. Nope. Torch of the new faith. The new believer zealots exact vigilant justice against the enemies of their doctrine. This is also what we want to avoid. So Cassius overthrown is what must happen, which means we have to have evidence against him. Okay, things are getting more real. The Trail of Sorcery. Since the incident with the priestess Ariadella, Patriarch Cassius has mostly retreated from the public eye and stopped preaching. A coincidence? No one can say for sure. The Trail of Sorcery. Given the title and Ariadella, what if Cassius is also a mage? Not all witches and mages resemble the pious Ariadella. You still remember Brian? Exactly. The young boy who went to your school. If you and Thomas had not stopped him, he would have burned the school to the ground. You cannot help but think. The Patriarch may be aiding mages and offering them shelter. The very thought makes you uneasy. You share your concerns with Jean and Father Ulrich. Your mentor nods in support. I have seen this before. Junius Diamond, the Patriarch of Astinia, attempted to protect a couple of sinners once. There was a priest who was rotting with a witch, and Junius tried to protect them. So perhaps you're right, Brante. Perhaps our Cassius has a soft spot for those abhorrent degenerates as well. I say, we should investigate. You exchange glances with Jean. Both of you still recall that tribunal in Eterna 5 years ago. It's a shame the Order has no way to secretly gather information about the parishes that support the Patriarch. Everyone in those parishes knows each and every inquisitor by sight. I intend to ask the secret chancellery for aid. This should be a simple matter for them. Undercover outlaws who challenge and undermine the Empire's sacred rule, rebels who pose a threat to the Twins' blessed order of the present, the Sacred Chancellery wages war on all these foes. You know very little about their other activities. The Order and the Secret Chancellery decide to work together. For the long year that follows, they painstakingly search for clues and investigate rumors. You examine each and every parish in Magra, trying in vain to find other mages sheltered by the Patriarch, if such mages even exist. You lose nearly all hope of success, but then one winter night, your efforts are finally rewarded. The sunset outside the window has turned to dusk, but Jeanne still has not returned to the ward. Normally, she would tell you if she were doing something after hours. You grow worried. Seeking reassurance, you approach the champions of faith who have stood guard for the day and ask them when they last saw Sister Jeanne. Oh, why Sister Jeanne left early this morning to help the Sacred Chancellery. Their agent ran up to her at the doorstep, he gave her a sealed note, and they drove away together. He said it was important. They say they found the trail of a runaway mage. Somewhere on the western edge of the city, in the warehouses in the old city walls. What if this is the same girl, the golden voice girl that they found, and that's why they are going for Jeanne to be extra evil? I say you shouldn't worry. We check a dozen such rumors from their agents every month, but we never find anything. Despite the captain's assurances, you remain apprehensive. You tell Agaronim to gather the champions and check on her. Oh, here we are. You go to the western edge of Anisote. There are almost no residential buildings here. There, just ruins and workhouses. In fact, it can be quite hard to tell one from another. As the half-crumbled wall on the edge of the city draws near, you feel your heart beat with greater urgency. Your apprehension grows. You come to the warehouse. The door is smashed in, ripped off the hinges. The inside is splattered with blood. You see wrecked furniture and soot. An intense battle was fought here. By the basement stairs you find a small pile of scorched clothes, the last remnants of someone's lesser death. It looks nothing like Jan's cassock, thank the twins. There is something on the lapel of the charred jacket, a brooch, in the shape of a wheel. This belonged to an agent of the Sacred Chancellery. Okay, is the twist that Jean is the witch? One floor below you, you hear a blow, followed by a woman's muffled moan. Jean could be down there. Captain Agaronim nods. Like a prayer, he whispers the usual words. Inquisitor Brante, you are a weapon. I now must wield. Strike my enemies down until I tell you otherwise. At this order, the champions of fate move out. Their heavy boots thunder down the stairs to the basement. You run down behind them. A tunnel, low and dark. Jeanne is there, surrounded by a half-dozen figures. Her face is bruised, her lips cracked, her eyes barely open. Her cassock shows several knife cuts soaked with blood. The unknown thugs turn to face you. They have gunpowder weapons. Shots explode in the dark. Swords flash like bolts of lightning. Screams. One of them summons magical fire in his hands. You clutch hard at a thin silver slab with a prayer to the younger, and the magical flames are doused as the silver melts in your hand. You continue the whispered prayer, staring straight into the mage's eyes. At this moment, in this place, it feels easier than ever to invoke the younger's ruthless law. The mage glances around as the champions of fate push the outlaws back despite a flurry of explosive shots. The rebels' weapons are too slow to reload, and in close combat, they are clearly weaker. The mage turns tail and runs away down a long, dark tunnel. Okay, here's the thing. What if Cassius is feeding them weapons? Glance back at Jeanne. Blood still oozes from her wounds, but more slowly now. Her head has fallen on her chest. Her eyes are closed. Oh. Heal Jeanne. You let the mage escape. Right now, saving Jeanne's life means more to you. We cannot do that. You give the mage chase, leaving Jeanne behind to bleed. We cannot do that. Oh, we can heal her. Huh. Okay, so if our relation is zealous, and if it's not zealous, then we can do this. And then we can change. Think about this. What matters more? I don't think this should be a question, right? Even though Jeanne is the kind of person she is, maybe we can change her. Heal her. Hopefully I won't regret this. You rush to Jeanne's side, dodging the slashing swords and swinging wooden clubs. A bullet hits the wall next to you, throwing a cloud of stone dust in your face. You take the silver encircled cross from your neck and touch it to her wounds. May the Elder grant you the power to heal them. The wounds flare with a blinding white light. The bleeding stops. The bruises and cuts on her face fade away. The blessed silver in your hands was the price of fate's sacrifice. A moment later, the holy symbol melts into a white glow. You untie Jeanne from the chair to which she was bound. She opens her eyes, nods to you, and fades. The fight is over. The champions of fate are victorious. You take a few moments to fashion crude stretchers out of nearby wooden planks and rags, then leave the bloodied warehouse, carrying out your wounded. Then one by one, you drag the cutthroats out of the basement. The secret chancellery men finally arrive, too late for the fight, and stuff the thugs into inconspicuous windowless wagons. Is Patriarch Cassius involved in this? You can only hope you will learn the answer soon enough. Jeanne regains her senses as you leave the western outskirts of Anisote and enter the temple district. Brante, did we catch the mage? You shake your head. Jeanne closes her eyes and remains silent for the rest of the trip. Many champions from your squad are wounded. They take them to the nearest temple for healing. Jeanne is utterly exhausted. She too needs help at the temple. She catches the arm of your cassock from out of the stretcher. Please, stay with me a moment. You accompany Jeanne to the infirmary by the temple. You healed her wounds, so it should not take much to get her back on her feet very soon. Good food and proper rest is all she requires. Brante, what do you think? Is Cassius behind this? And if he is, what made him commit such a crime? When the infirmary nurses stop fussing around her, you take a stool and sit next to Jeanne's bed. With some difficulty, Jeanne pulls her arm out from under the bedsheets. Will you pray with me? You put your hand on hers, it feels warm, hard and rough. Her fingers squeeze your hand gingerly. You begin the first words of the prayer of gratitude and Jeanne repeats after you. As you reach the middle of the prayer, you notice that you can no longer hear her voice. Jeanne is asleep. You spend a moment sitting by Jeanne's bedside listening to her breathing. Then you carefully take your hand out of hers and leave the infirmary. I'm not sure still if Jeanne is our enemy or not. That's the problem. If she is so sided with Ulrich, but she doesn't seem to be totally with him. It seems like she has doubts. Revelation. It has been several months since Jeanne was rescued from the insurgents. You learned that the mage, hunted by the secret chancellery, was a rebel, a member of a clandestine society who took refuge in a local parish. Father Ulrich took it upon himself to personally interrogate the abbot of the parish. The priest confessed to the crime, even confirmed that Patriarch Cassius was involved. According to the abbot, he accepted the mage as an acolyte at the parish after the Patriarch vouched for him personally. However, you are aware of the methods Father Ulrich employs to extract his confessions. The abbot's words may be far from the truth. You cannot help but suspect that Ulrich made the abbot lay all the blame on Cassius for his own mysterious reasons. Jeanne, on the other hand, is more eager than ever to believe that the Patriarch is guilty. We must put Cassius on trial before the new sacred conclave. The Patriarch stands before the twins, and they will judge our entire flock based on him. If the newly chosen Patriarch is a heretic, who knows what blasphemous obscenities he will utter in their presence. The evidence you have is not enough to bring the Patriarch to trial. However, Ulrich intends to use your information to destroy Cassius' public image and his support among the clergy. Your sacred mission is looking more and more like a dirty political game, and you find this sickening. Desperate for a change of scenery, you seek solace in a walk through the familiar alleyways of Anisote. You notice something different. An unusual number of people on the streets of Anisote are armed. Not just nobles, even commoners have defied their lot by carrying small hatchets and clubs tucked in their belts. Father spoke of this at the dinner table last night. The city's gendarmes are unable to maintain order on the streets. The commoner members of the lesser quorum are calling for the common folk to fight for their rights, while the nobles are mired in the ongoing struggle between Archduke Tarquinius Milanidas and Imperial Overseer Gaius Tempest. You feel uneasy. People are beginning to challenge Aesetius' vision of the lots. Too many now reject the divine law that brought order to the empire by shackling its subjects' destinies to the lots. The Empire is changing, and you cannot help but feel a sense of foreboding, as though some dreadful world-shaking event is about to take place. You do not remember how your legs guided you to the silver tree. As always, a profound sense of tranquility descends upon you. Close your eyes and whisper words of gratitude. As you pray, you hear a loud voice in the distance. A monk you have never met is preaching. Wandering preacher. The most sorrowful thing that happened when the twins descended to our world was their death on opposite shores of the river Eterna. The elder was torn apart by the mob, whether from love, madness, or some other purpose, we do not know. At that very moment the younger disappeared as well, gone in a flash of light, and so a brief but terrible time of troubles began. The people were lost, unsure of what to do. The twins had told them of the peak and the foot of the shining pillar, but before they could tell the people how to reach the peak and meet them in the hereafter, they were gone. 12 years passed between the day the twins died and the day Aesatius, beloved disciple of the elder, described the twins as will, love, and law in his first book. And then, 2 years later, Aesatius received his second revelation, and thus the second book was written. And in this book, the prophet taught us how to live a righteous life and earn a place at the peak of the shining pillar in the hereafter. And all the faithful found peace at last. With this understanding, the 3 lads came to be. You linger for a moment to listen to the sermon before moving on. You see few armed men in the slums and almost no gendarmes. Anisata still seems so peaceful here, just like in the days of your youth. Men and women pass by on the narrow streets, busy with their lives. You hear children's voices in the yards. 2 boys are pushing at each other by a fence. They are almost the same height and both are thin, with light brown hair. One of them shouts at the other, "Don't do that! Mom's gonna punish us. She told us to stop." His voice echoes in your head. The world around you ripples and quivers. The colors grow more vivid for a moment, and instantly turn pale. Everything is getting brighter and brighter. There is a light coming from the silver tree. It fills the slums. It hurts to look at it. A brilliant flash blinds you. The light drowns out everything. You see a crowd of people. Their faces are blurred and inscrutable like faded old paintings. They are listening to a man's silhouette standing before them. You cannot hear his words, but you can feel the love emanating from him. It washes over everyone like a wave of warmth. He is a wise teacher offering guidance to his disciples. Is that me? A peasant crawls up to the teacher on his hands and knees. He is harnessed to a plow. He reaches out in a desperate plea, and the teacher removes the peasant's harness. He helps him to his feet and hands him a sword. And in this act, there is love. You have felt this sensation only once before. You cannot remember when. It is unquestionable, endless, absolute. The softest touch, like a hand wiping the tears from a child's face. The next moment, another silhouette appears beside the first. Your heart skips a beat. Crime is always followed by punishment. Inevitable, merciless retribution. The judge is sentenced. This is right. This is how it must be. The judge is here and he craves justice. The law is one, the same for all. The teacher is alone. His audience disappears, dissolving like shadows. The judge approaches and the teacher steps towards him. His arms open in an embrace. The judge's sword suddenly rises to meet him. The image freezes before you. Both silhouettes disappear in the light of the silver tree. The sentence has been rendered. The lot fulfilled. And then you are surrounded by the slums of Anisote once again. The encircled cross of the twins feels hot against your chest, burning your skin even through your cassock. Your breath is ragged, the blood pounding in your temples. You have just experienced an inexplicable revelation, a vision given to those seeking answers. those such as Prophet Isatis. And this revelation is bursting out of you. It must be interpreted correctly. Oh no! We cannot go to Father Leonard. You go to the temple by the silver tree to share this revelation with a priest of the new faith. We cannot go to Jean, of course. We could prolong this. What? No, 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 no. My destiny is the Latari? What? Like the Latari, for a brief moment you became one with something greater than yourself. You go to your family, they are more dear to you than anyone else in the world, and you want to share this revelation with them. But the Latari isn't fully bad, I think. Let me... The law is one, same for all. Everyone must be judged. That's the twins' way. The judge's sword suddenly rises to meet him. The lot fulfilled. I don't really know how to interpret this. We have to make a choice. And rather than going home, we are prolonging the revelation. You turn to face the shining pillar. Your revelation is fading like a memory of an old dream. If only you could hold on to it just a bit longer. There must be a way to see more, to see further than you were previously allowed. You have to try. You get down on your knees and close your eyes. In the past, you partook of a heretical ritual with the Latari Society. Oh, you can still remember the chanting, the music that took you far away from this world. And now it rings in your head once again. But this time, in your mind, you change the words of the chant. I am the twins. I am the elder. And I am the younger. They are part of me. I am part of them. And the fading vision explodes into light, like a bolt from the blue. You are falling from the peak of the shining pillar down to the mortal realm. There is nothing but infinite darkness around you. It feels like you are falling for an eternity. A hand extends from the blinding peak, reaching out to catch you. You cannot discern the features of your savior, only his silhouette. This soft, open hand, you have known it ever since you were born. Above your savior rises a ruthless shadow. It grabs your savior by his shoulders, pulling him back. You clutch the outstretched hand of the last moment as you fall. Back in the physical world, your body collapses under immeasurable pain. Your ribcage bends in, blood gushes. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Blood gushes out of your nose and your muscles spasm and shudder. Each breath a gasp of pain. You scream in desperate agony. It takes incredible willpower just to maintain this connection, to keep holding onto that hand. Please don't die. The younger tries to pull you toward him, out of the elder's arms, but the elder will not let go. Your own will fades away. There is no more time, no more sensation. Everything is replaced by the will of the two brothers. This is how it was before you were born. This is how it shall be after you die for the last time. Their dreams and aspirations, their joys and sorrows, their goals and aims, it all flows through you in an endless stream. The brothers strive for the same thing. They both wish the people well. To that end, they have chosen different paths. Their will, once united, has been rent in twain. Their struggle will never end. The elder begs for his brother's forgiveness, but he will never find it, not even in the heavens. The law is one, the same for man and gods alike. You slip out of their hands. You are lying on the ground, face down. One of your hands is clenched into a fist, and the other is open, caressing the clenched hand. The pain fades away, but the memory remains. You will never be able to tell anyone about this. Does this mean the elder is the good guy? Maybe. I don't know anymore. This is getting more and more intricate and confusing. Okay, Stefan's Gambit. You have hardly found any time for family matters this year. The events taking place in the city keep you busy at all hours. Tonight you come home extremely late, but the fireplace in the sitting room is lit. By the fire you see Stefan with a glass of wine. Your elder brother has been waiting for you. You take a seat in the chair by Stefan's side. Your brother keeps turning his glass with his long fingers. Brante, we need to have a talk about Gloria. She flatly refuses to behave as she ought to. Her antics are ruining our family's reputation. If this situation persists, nobility of the sword will be out of the question. Brother, I do not wish her ill, but you have no right to sit idly by. Regrettably, Gloria will never truly be a part of the Brante family. Her origins are too tarnished, so it is our duty to find her a new family. It is high time Gloria got married. But we can't just give our sister to a commoner, can we? And how could any noble wed her, knowing her origins? It's been a stumbling block for a long time, but I finally found a suitable match for her. His name is Jose L. Pelletier. He is a young nobleman of the sword. Oh, I remember that guy. Gloria actually met him. Recently graduated from the college, and now he's a position at the city hall. Do you recall the reception several years ago where he couldn't take his eyes off Gloria? Pelletier has been obsessed with her ever since. Not even her lowly origins can deter him. Admittedly, Gloria does not reciprocate his affection just yet. So let us convince Gloria that becoming Sir L. Pelletier's bride is her chance to escape her current situation. And then let us pray she comes to her senses and puts her rebellious ways behind her. Isn't this an ideal solution? After marrying Al Pelletier, Gloria will be a noblewoman herself, will be granting her the freedom she's craved since she was a girl, and then she can write poetry and do whatever else takes her fancy. I will enter into negotiations with the Al Pelletier family. Rumor has it, Jose's father already has a future wife in mind for him, the daughter of an important chancellery official. But Jose's passion must win out in the end, don't you agree? As for you, Brante, please help me with Gloria. You're closest with her. You can see how beneficial this match will be. She must fulfill her duty to the family that took her in, after all. Stefan looks at you expectantly. You are at a crossroads. Will you accept your brother's plan or refuse him? Will this marriage be a blessing? And for whom? Really, we can only agree and refuse? Oh, I am against prearranged marriages, like overall. However, the guy likes him. Gloria could really chase her goals. But a counter argument is we are on the path to completely destroy any kinds of like lots and positions, right? This is an important choice, I think. On the other hand, I'm not sure how well we could do that if our house reputation is bad. This is a choice I think that might backfire, but I will agree this once. You remain silent for some time, weighing your decision. The plan your brother has proposed sounds reasonable. In a new family and with a noble title, Gloria will be able to put all the resentment about her fate behind her and be free of the limitations of the lowly estate. You let Stefan know that you are on his side. A broad smile lights up his face as he reclines in his chair. I knew you'd be sensible. Together we can certainly make it happen. But remember how stubborn Gloria is. An easy victory is not to be expected. The next morning you invite Gloria to join you in the library for a private conversation. You inquire carefully about your sister's thoughts on marriage. If a nobleman of the sword were to wed her, she would join the noble estate, and all the arts would be open to her. Gloria laughs in response. Become a noblewoman? In all of Anisote, you'd never find a single nobleman of the sort who'd ever marry a lowborn girl like me. I don't even have a father. You mentioned Jose El Pelletier. This spirited young gentleman would be willing to join Gloria in wedlock. Marry El Pelletier? Bronto, you don't understand. Sure, he's easy on the eyes. He's a skilled warrior and a respected nobleman, but he's been after me for a year now, and I've managed to figure out what he's after. He needs a wife to give birth to his heirs, follow him around obediently at social gatherings, and praise his chivalry. Can you see me in that role? Gloria falls silent for a moment, gathering her thoughts. Besides, I don't even want to be a noblewoman, okay? I can't just live peacefully within the noble estate knowing that other commoners are still suffering. I can't just pretend their misery has nothing to do with me. You try to give her a taste of the benefits that a noble name brings, but your sister doesn't even want to hear you. This is all Stefan's idea, isn't it? You'd never throw me out of the house on your own. So hear this, it's not going to happen. Later, you inform Stefan of your sister's refusal. His face turns to stone. The ingrate. I almost come to an agreement with old El Pelletier. All the pains we've taken to arrange her future. And this is how she repays us? Well, we'll proceed without consulting her. Brother, we need to devise a way to put pressure on Gloria, even if it takes us a long time. No. Why can't you just take no for an answer? I feel bad now. I can't reload. I can restart the whole chapter, that's my only option. Okay, from now on, I will just listen to my heart. Just like the song. I'm not going to, leave the mind out of this. A confession. A servant wakes you up in the middle of the night. There is a visitor, a champion of fate, with an urgent note. You unfold the scrap of paper. Meet me at the silver tree. It is urgent. Jean. She would not summon you so late unless it were truly important. Something has happened. Is Jean in danger? The shining pillar is particularly bright tonight, its light merging with the glow of the silver tree. Jean is not by the temple door, she is a bit further away in the square. She greets you and leads you under one of the tree's enormous roots. It is twisted and bent, forming a peculiar kind of grotto. Bronto, there is something I must tell you. You are the only person I can bare my soul to. Under the silver tree, no one can ever tell a lie. I will be completely honest with you. Please, offer me your guidance. Or if I am to suffer for all eternity in the hereafter, then tell me this too. Slowly, you nod in return. The silver tree's tranquility fills you. The woman who stands before you is not an inquisitor right now. At this moment, she is a human, a person, with all her weaknesses, mistakes, and inner conflicts. Of course, you tell her you would be glad to offer her guidance. Jean sighs heavily. She is terrified, but her resolve is stronger than fear. Are you going to tell me you are the witch? The twins are low and will and love. This is what we will tell everyone who comes to us for help. This is what we say so many times a day in prayer. Their law is clear to me, and I can feel their will everywhere. But what do I do about love? How am I supposed to tell their love from the worldly love that no priests are ever allowed to feel? Do you remember when we first met? It was here, a lifetime ago. We both belonged to the common lot back then. Wait. I took your hand in mine. I wanted to keep you safe at the temple. Safe from the corrupting teachings of Fotis. And that's when it all began. I can still remember how you blushed. Oh, God. All my life, service to the twins has been my only truth. I've known my path and the sacrifices I had to make ever since I was a little girl. I never be a wife or a mother. I never live a life of pressure. I have been given the gift of truth. I am one who must bring their word into the world. But you, every day I spend with you is agony. I've gone astray. The light of the twins used to be my beacon, but you're blocking it out. This is wrong. I pray to the twins again and again to set me free from this emotion. I've tried so hard to purge the thoughts of you from my mind, try to see you as a test they have sent me. But I can't. You are my sin, my torture, my love. I cannot hide this. I cannot hide from this, sorry. Show me the way, please. You're the only one who can do this and no one else. Jean's hazel eyes are full of tears. The branches of the silver tree glow softly above you. She's right, there is no hiding from love. You cannot resist it. Should you even try? This is a place of honesty. And this love, it fills you both. It asks no questions as it guides you toward one another with great certainty. You take a step closer to Jean, your heart is beating so hard it feels as though your ribs are about to break, an awkward, uncertain, but utterly sincere. A kiss. What? For a moment Jean is paralyzed in your arms, then she responds with passion, with all the love she has professed. This feeling, this emotion, so sincere, so strong, it is a gift from the twins. This touch feels so unfamiliar to you, so frightening to her. Your bodies have never known it before, bound and shackled by years of taboo. But right now you are both guided by something more than attraction at last. This is love, profound and absolute, that which only they may give. With a sense of awe, you remove the veil from her head. Her hair, it has been so long you forgot what color it was. It is blonde and it shines like a halo in the silver tree's glow. Jeanne moves away from you, her fingers caress your neck. You cover her palms and wrists with kisses and undo the buttons and belt on her clothing. The fallen leaves are soft like the softest bed as you lay her down. You cross a line you must not cross, but the power of divine love is irresistible. There are no more secrets between you. You close your eyes. Sight is only distraction now. You find her lips blindly. You share in her passion, relish her tenderness, and put her fears to rest. And she responds to you in kind, in perfect unison. All is just as it should be. Warmth spreads through your bodies like a roaring fireplace on a rainy autumn day, like a long conversation with those you hold most dear, honesty and awe. You have never felt so alive. This is more than mere intimacy. So much more, it is stronger than both of you. Time has been shattered. Minutes pass, hours, or perhaps just seconds. Together you seem to share a furtive glance at an entire life you never lived. You lie down by her side, out of breath. Jeanne nestles closer to you. Her fingers trace the contours of your chest as you stroke her hair. When the sunrise finds you, it catches you by surprise. Jeanne's body is illuminated by the sun. She blushes and turns away. You fumble for your clothes, averting your gaze and trying in vain to hide your physical and spiritual nudity. You do not look at each other until your bodies are clothed again. We can't deny this. We can't pretend it didn't happen. But what do we know now? Oh, this is... Okay. I'm laughing because I guess our relationship was always like, the fact that this happened is so surprising. I guess it did because we healed her and we sort of supported her against the witch. But I don't think this was really meant to happen, because look at all the locked out options. It was a mistake. It was a miracle. These feelings are real. This is a test. I mean, I always looked at her like, you know, simply like a colleague. I don't even, you know, consider this option was like something that's possible. The silver tree filled you both with love, but now the illusion is gone. It was an illusion. It's like, okay, this is the weirdest answer ever, but okay. An illusion, sure. What happened was not your will, it was the will of the silver tree. It filled you with a craving for a love you have never known. But the law of the fate cannot be altered. For priests, physical love and the union of flesh are forbidden. Jean looks downward, you are both silent. The hum of morning life fills the slums around the tree. The thought surprises you. There were so many people around. It feels awkward. When Jean can finally look at you again, her eyes are glistening with tears. You're right. It was just an illusion. What we did is forbidden. I have to go. She walks away from the silver tree. Her back is unusually straight. She does not want her weakness to show. You look up at the tree's branches and whisper a prayer. Strength fills your body. The illusion is gone now. Reality awaits. It is time to serve the twins. Okay, so this was one of the weirdest events. Okay, seemingly 3 more years? 4, perhaps? The mark of dishonor. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Oh, the family name. Uh-oh. Yep, it is about the reputation. Alright. As always, this was eventful. We are getting closer and closer to the end. We still cannot be sure if we will ever reach this path. And I'm really worried about that, but we shall see in future episodes. Hopefully, oops, don't look at that. Hopefully we will manage, we will achieve something that turns out to be interesting in the end, or a nice revelation, or something. We should see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we will pick it up from here in the next episode. See ya!